What is up, everyone? Another video on the 2JZ FRS. We've been chugging along this thing, having a blast. As you guys know, we refreshed one day, we put a head package in it. Last time you guys saw us, we fully timed it up, sealed up, got all the accessories on. It looks like a new engine. I'm so hyped. And now it's time for all the fun stuff, which is all the manifolds, all the fancy bits. It's gonna really come together and look like something special by the end of this video. We were trying to film earlier, but the boys were just a little distracted. I mean, check this out. What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Steve, what are you doing?
Man, I'm fishing. Here, come on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm here to tell you about how much fun I've been having with this new game, Fishing Clash. It really brings me back to a young Steve's strong fisherman past. Now, some of the great features in this game that really hooked me was being able to develop my own fishing village, Stevie World, catching varieties of gorgeous fish species, visiting global fishing locations, competitive online gameplay, whether with my buddies or solo fishing, and the ability to strive with equipment upgrades and customizations. So what I want to tell you is, if you like to support the channel, like watching the channel like I do, you can download Fishing Clash on your device, use our code JimmyOaks, and get a $20 reward, including a unique avatar. You can use the link in bio to download or scan the QR code right here. Use our code JimmyOaks for that free reward, and I want to see you guys playing Fishing Clash. We're going to get back to the video. Steve out.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our little fishing excursion. Of course, make sure to check out the app. Any engagement you give them only helps us, so thank you guys for being patient. But for now, we gotta get right to work. We have a lot of parts to get on today, and honestly, I am dying to see them on the cars. We're gonna get right after it, and we're gonna start dressing this thing up, starting with the intake side of the engine. You guys remember the engine came with this crazy big forward-facing intake, which honestly looks pretty cool. It looks very fast, looks very motorsports. I don't think it fit in the car very well. And since we are running a non-VVTi engine, I want to promote mid-range torque as much as possible, since we don't have the VTC gear like the VVTi engines to help with that mid-range power. So we're gonna throw the stock intake on, because with these long runners in here, it really does help with that low-end power that we're gonna try and squeeze out of this thing. Fresh OE gasket, and of course those those front forward-facing intakes are definitely meant to help promote flow at higher RPM, but with the stock intake helping to promote more mid-range, we're not really gonna lose any top-end power from it, right? The stock intake has been pushed to many limits, and it's shown to not really hinder any performance, at least in our realm here, right? In our power range. You ready, Spoon? Look how good this thing fits in here. Look at this. It literally looks like it was made for this car. Like, we have so much more room now. The throttle body will be farther back, so we can actually get a reasonable intercooler piping in this thing. And before, it was literally touching the master cylinder. Now it's like curved for it. Now we have room to run the harness, the fuel lines. It's just so much happier in there. Okay, so before we bolt this thing down, it's actually way easier for us to get our injectors and rail in when it's split apart. So let's get that in right now. All right, boys, of course, we got ourselves a good old Works care package, the fuel system we always go with, because the fuel system that works every single time for us. We have a beautiful JZ rail, right? So this is a fuel rail they make to fit the factory intake. That's a good piece, isn't it? I love it. Instead of it like, a lot of guys will just like a block of aluminum. Like, this one actually has some nice curves to it, good engraves, good fitting. So if you wanted to run a return out, very happy with this piece. So they also come with these little adapters right here with an O-ring, and what it does is, on the factory non-VVTi intakes, I believe they're factory side feed, so they don't have a normal top feed seat. So typical injectors won't just sit in there, so they give us these adapters right here that sit in the manifold, and then it gives us a seat to run a standard top feed injector. Killed that. So if you guys remember in our fuel video fit 34 not long ago, we talked about how the height of injectors can change. You have to make sure your rail is spaced adequately to those injector length, right? So the kit actually comes with different length spacers for the rail to accommodate what length injectors we use. We got DW 1000 cc injectors for this. And as long as we have proper fuel delivery with our pump and our lines, the 1000 should be able to pump enough fuel through the engine to produce the power goals that we want. So let's get these things in the rail and fit them up. What do we always say, T-Bone?
Never going dry.
How did no one call me out for putting this thing in upside down?
I was just looking at the while you said, oh my god.
I'm sitting there like, why is that O-ring blue? Whatever. I think I'm just that excited. I'm like too pumped right now. It's like the fun part of the build, you know, when you just get to throw like new parts on and you get like this instant gratification of just like things happening. There we go. Now we can see what length spacers we need to fit these injectors. Looks like we're gonna need the taller ones. Yeah, now we have the right spacing to mount the rail. All right, so I quickly realized we have one issue, and this is one thing or just one of many things you have to look out for when you're doing an engine swap, right? We're putting an engine that doesn't belong in a chassis, so things are gonna fight us. So on our rail, it looks like our output is actually gonna get in the way of the master cylinder right here. Toyota might make a master cylinder that's a different shape, but we can also just get shorter injectors because these are longer injectors, and it will bring the rail down, which will get it out of the way of the master. So it looks like we're gonna have to order shorter injectors. It's good that we have the option to. This is one of the many things that you have to account for when doing engine swaps. Things don't always work out perfectly the first time. So for now, let's just get the rest of it together and we'll swap the injectors out. Well, probably tomorrow. Spoon just made me a quick delete plate right here. So factory, there's an IAC on this thing, right? There's an idle air control valve, which brings air past the throttle body into the intake so this thing can idle, right? But we are going E-throttle on this car, which means we can control idle with that. So we don't need this thing. So Spoon did his magic, made a cool little delete plate. So we're gonna get this thing here. Oh, that looks so freaking cool. It's sick, right? These things come factory with an electric throttle pedal. So it would be a shame not to utilize it because we have so many good functions with it versus putting a cable in here. So there's a lot of different options you could go with electric throttle bodies, right? People use LS ones, people love 350Z ones because they're cheap. I like the Bosch Motorsport ones because, well, one is made by Bosch, so you know it's good shit. And they're cheap, dude. Like, so this is a brand new one. I think I got it on SCP Euro. It was $160 for a brand new throttle body. I think they come off a Porsche Cayman or something. And they come in different diameters. So I got a 74mm one. There's no point in going oversized throttle body if you don't need it. The bigger you make your throttle body, especially on the smaller engines, it could affect your drivability greatly, right? So if you put like a 90mm throttle body on 4-cylinder, it makes your partial throttle very hard to control. And so you gotta find the balance of making sure you can get enough flow through it to not hinder it, and well, small enough that you're not messing up the way it drives. So obviously this thing doesn't come to bolt up to it, right? Because this is not meant for this throttle body, but people make adapters, so check it out. Snap, there it is. So this piece with the O-ring, which is really nice, will bolt on here, and then this will bolt onto here. Hell yeah. Okay, now we have all this room. Before, the throttle body was like here. So it had to have this really ugly tight 90 that went in, and now we'll have plenty of room for the intercooler piping. Perfect size throttle body, and we'll have all our motorsport functions that come along with the electric throttle body, which is gonna be really cool, which I can't wait to show off once we get the link in this thing and it's running. It's good. It's good stuff, huh?
It's simple. That's what blows me away about this engine, is how simple it can be. Can we look at this turbo now?
You wanna look at the turbo now?
Yeah, you said we couldn't look at it until we opened it on camera.
Okay, let's show off the manifold first, and then we'll show off the turbo. So of course, we got something spicy for it. We got ourselves a little Artec manifold right here. You guys know we're a sucker for the Artec manifolds for many reasons. It might look a little different than your traditional manifold where you're used to like these long piece tubes that come out with all these welds and they look all crazy and they're a pain in the ass to bolt on. These are cast stainless. Instead of just being stuck to figuring out where you could fit these pipes, you're able to put a lot of time and effort into actually optimizing the flow. So you're able to have smaller manifolds with high efficiencies. These things are not designed on a bench, they're designed on a computer to optimize flow. Flow is power. And not only that, I say all the time, one of my favorite parts about these manifolds is they're always super easy to bolt on, because you can get to every single bolt. You can get to every single stud, no issues. With the tubular manifolds, you're cutting studs, you're cutting wrenches, half like little baby turns just to get them on. So, though it looks pretty small, this thing should have no issues delivering good results for the power band that we are trying to get with. They do a Big Daddy manifold for the even bigger turbos, which I would love to try one day. But for our system, this works perfect. Like a NASCAR pit stop right there. Blast this thing on and off in like 2 seconds. I know it's kind of a shame not to have like some big crazy tubular manifold in the JZ because it just looks like traditional and fast. But this thing should perform incredible for us, and we don't have to worry about all these hot pipes getting in all the way for servicing and worrying about having to heat manage everything aggressively. So, very pumped. The manifold's on, so as you tell, we have two outputs right here. We have a V-band for the turbo, and we have a V-band for the wastegate. This one's a little funny, right? Because it puts the wastegate right on top, which is a little bit different than what we used to. I feel like usually wastegates are on the bottom and a little bit hidden. But for us, it's right on top, which is cool because it makes it super easy to service, and once again, keeps hot parts like a wastegate out of the way of other things. For a wastegate, we went with what we always go with because they have, we've tried a lot of wastegates over the years, and honestly, we've had the best luck with the Turbo Smart gates. The longevity has been amazing, especially with these drift cars. I've burnt out a lot of gates on the coupe. A lot of limiter, a lot of burnt gates, but ever since I put a Turbo Smart in it, it's been amazing, and they're extremely easy to swap out the springs, which is like my favorite part, right? Full stainless body, you guys know the deal. A lot of gates you'll see, you'll have to compress the spring and get a bunch of bolts in. You strip those bolts, it sucks. Everyone's having a bad time with this. They have this, you have this big sleeve right here that's threaded, and we use this wrench, so it's a coilover wrench, and we unthread it, and the whole gate comes apart and you can change your springs. So with it on the manifold right here, we're able to actually change the wastegate spring super quick, which is really nice. So from a performance aspect, this manifold combo, everything makes so much sense because the accessibility and the serviceability is ridiculous. Plus I think it looks kind of cool with it. Like, it shows off the money that you spent. You know? Don't forget your firing ring. This is super easy to forget. This seals it, right? You'll have bad boost numbers if you forget that thing right there. This is so nice on top, dude. The old manifold in the coupe, it was on the bottom. So to change your wastegate spring or service it at all, it was like a
freaking nightmare.
Nightmare, dude. It was like, put it off until next time. This thing came in with a 14-pound spring in it to start. We're gonna leave it right there and go up from there. And of course we have to run our airlines, but that's for later on. Kind of rushed through that because I'm so excited to see the turbo now. I haven't opened it. Spoon wanted to open it. I didn't let him open it because I wanted to open it together.
You seen it?
I haven't opened it. I told you I wouldn't open it without you.
I wanted to open it last night too. He wouldn't let me.
I was here late last night. I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about sneaking a peek.
You didn't though, right?
I did.
It's like sneaking a peek at your Christmas gifts before it's Christmas morning.
That's dirty. Did you do that? You run downstairs real quick?
No, I ruined everything.
It ruined everything, didn't it? Here we go, boys. Look at this. Big old Turbo Smart box right here. Turbo Smart just came out with their very own line of turbochargers this year. I saw them at SEMA, saw them at PRI, and I've been dying to get my hands on one for myself. This is a first project of the year, really. And it's a JZ, so it's perfect timing to test one of these things out. Right here we have Turbo Smart's new 6466. Dun 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 dun. And some stickers, save that for later.
Today, Junior.
Oh, look at this thing. I'm so excited. Look at that wheel on there, dude. It's all Bennett. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. This thing's compact for a 6466.
Oh, it's simple, no water lines. Love that.
How small that core is, dude. Stainless V-band housing. Look at this. Look how light this thing is, too.
Oh wow, that is very light.
You can, like,
that's impressive.
okay, ready? Not mashing. This one's oil cooled. They do have water cooled options for us, so oil cool worked perfectly. You want to do the honors? First test spin. That's so good.
That's satisfying.
All right. Want to see it mocked up? Oh, that fits in there so good, dude.
That is very nice and compact.
It's in the name of the manifold. Dude, I'm dying to see what this thing can do. That is so cool. It's so good. With the turbos, there's a lot of awesome tech in these things. They put a lot of R&D in these things. What I like about it, one of the best, is they really aim for quick spools, right? For the longest time, I feel like everyone used to oversize their turbos so they don't run out of efficiency, right? Once the boost starts to get high, they run out of efficiency in the turbo and they can no longer produce power. So they end up putting big ass turbos on cars, which makes them laggy. But now with modern turbo tech, we are able to put a small turbo on this thing that will make it spool really fast, but it won't fall off efficiency. It will spool hard and it will continue to produce power. It won't fall off. It'll hold efficiency throughout our entire power band. I can't get over how light this thing is. Catch. Ready?
Oh God.
Yeah.
12 pounds.
12 pounds?
12 to 15.
I'm so curious now what that thing weighs. 13.
That was
close. What's nice on top of that is it comes with everything we need. Both V-bands are really nice because nothing's worse than ordering a turbo and having to then source a V-band for the outlet.
That is annoying because none of the other turbos bring the exhaust flange.
I know, every time I order a turbo, you're usually like, Jimmy, did you buy the V-band? I'm like, ah.
Yeah, because there's not a traditional 3-inch V-band.
No, exactly. They come with both their V-bands, which is huge. Saves you a big headache, right?
Turbo slot for the win.
Ooh, and the flange.
That's what I'm saying.
Your fabricator will love you when you drop it off and you actually have the parts for them. Of course, it comes with the feed fitting and the return.
Already on it.
Already on it.
Turbo snort. You know what you're doing.
Got Spoon's heart. It's crazy how light they make their cores too. This thing is gonna be a spool monster. I can't wait to hear the noise. You know how every turbo has like their own sound?
Specific sound.
Yeah, these things just came out, so like I'm super, super excited to show them off. Cannot wait to see what this thing does in the dyno. I think we're gonna be very, very pleasantly surprised with this thing. But of course, I have to give it a plug because we do sell all Turbo Smart's products on the website. So if you're curious about their turbos, hop on shopjimeo.com. So hop below, Shop Jimeo. Check out what turbos Turbo Smart has for you. They do reverse rotation, water cooled, T4 housings, they do V-band housings, everything you can imagine, they got it. Check it out, hop below, Shop Jimeo, and of course, we also have their gates too, which will fit any project that you have going on. Before we get into more work with the FRS, I walk over and Spoon's cutting more holes in my S14. Man just loves cutting metal off this car.
Big old hole.
Dude, there is a hole in my floor pan right now. What are you doing?
It's called the cat hump delete.
The kitty hump delete. Check this out real quick. So S chassis have a hump in their floor pan to actually account for the catalytic converter, right? Since the exhaust runs underneath you, it needs a hump to clear it. And so there's this huge hump right here that makes it very, very hard to mount your seat very low. So when you're stupid tall like my dumbass, this is a limitation. It's very hard to seat a seat very low. And so a lot of guys get rid of this. Buddies down at MA Performance actually have a parts company called Alaria, and they make prefab pieces like this for the S chassis that is literally just meant to weld in. So Spoon's been cutting it up, making clearance.
It's still fitting. I'd rather cut 30 times than overcut.
So you're gonna weld that in and boom, look at that. I can actually fit in my S chassis for once. I have to always take the pad out of my seat. Like my S13, I have to take it's like bolted to the floor, and I have to take the pad out of the seat just to barely fit in it. So with this, we're not playing any games. We'll put the link in the description, so if you guys want to grab one of these for your S chassis, it's a great mod to do, even if it's a street car.
Will you though? Will you?
I will put the link in the description.
Austin will put the link in the description. This just came in a big package from MA. So with the S14, we can't just put a standard Nissan diff in it, right? It's not gonna hold up to the grip and power that we're gonna be putting through this thing. So we have to upgrade to a big, beefy Bulldog diff, which we don't have yet. But MA took our S14 subframe and modified it to fit our new giant diff. They took it, they cleaned it because it was a little rusty. They reinforced it. You see our little recent reinforcement brackets right here, which is really awesome. Just because factory, you know, they're not meant to make this power and grip.
Yeah, they're gonna send it back all powder coated and nice.
Yeah, look at it, they got the little badge on it, the MA on it. This thing is stout. Our big ass diff will now bolt right into this thing and utilize the factory S14 subframe. This is a huge piece of the Pro Car build. Hopefully the diff will show up shortly. We'll get that in. We can start mocking up the suspension because we're gonna start making everything around it.
We have a lot of suspension.
We have all the suspension basically. I just need to get coilovers. This is a big update. I'm really hyped on this piece. So MA Motorsports, thank you for getting this done for us so quickly. It came out beautifully. The boys know what they're doing. They've been a huge help. They have done it so many times themselves that they're giving us some cheat codes on how to skip some trial and errors, right? So they're setting us up for success. So MA Motorsports, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. All right, so just like that, Spoon started to get to work on getting the downpipe fitted up in the car, and he's making very quick work of it. So on the turbo, we're stepping it up to a 3.5-inch downpipe, so we have ultimate volume in the downpipe, so we could help create a low pressure zone to help the turbo spool even faster. It's a tight fit, but it's going really organically, and I really like how he has it flowing down with it, and I think it looks really organic. So of course, Spoon is killing it per usual. So the one last thing I want to talk about the turbo, just to get this thing finished setting up, right? Because it already comes with a turbo feed fitting on it, right? So we don't got to worry about getting like a restrictor fitting or anything. It already comes with it. What I want to do show is a little bit of an upgrade on the drain that I think is probably one of the most slept on things ever. With a lot of these modern turbos, the center cartridges are getting really small, right? We don't have a lot of room between here, which is great, right? Give us smaller turbos, lighter, better, easier. But it becomes difficult to get a drain on the turbo because you're running, you know, a dash 8 or a dash 10 fitting, and it's really hard to get a wrench in there. I like getting these extended drains that actually allow you to attach the AN fitting basically below the turbo. I know it's pretty common in diesel truck world, but you don't see it enough on these type of builds. So what this does is when we put this drain on, you'll see, look how low the fitting is now. Super easy to get the drain on and off on the turbo. This is definitely one of those products that you'll thank yourself later after you order it.
Most underrated part.
Most underrated part for sure. Because now we have our dash 10 wrench. It's a little tight in there. We actually have more room on this than most because this isn't V-band, which is actually really nice. We could actually get down here with the wrench, no problem, right? Now your turbo drain won't be a dreaded process. Just gotta make a quick one of these. Spoon, do you find making AN line satisfying or irritating?
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. It's fun.
Hardline brake lines.
Hardline brake lines are cool. That's satisfying.
I don't mind doing those either.
Yes, I should have the bench vice thing, but DJ took it.
Did you still mind? Because you had 1.5.
He said, did he still mine?
I'll just ride the struggle bus here. Let's see here, boys. Hell yeah. Easy. That looks so sick. At first, dude, like the wastegate on top was kind of throwing my head off. I was like, I don't know, dude, I'm so not used to seeing that thing on top. But like the more I look at it, I think it looks like, just looks efficient, looks cool. It looks like more modern motorsports, doesn't it?
Looks like this engine could have come out like 2 years ago.
Right? That's what's cool. Like we're modernizing it. There's some new tech in it. Wake up. So we don't have to pull the whole hot side off. Spoon's tacking it right on the car. Looks so sick. Look at that. Look how organic that flows.
It takes a lot more time, but I hate when people don't take the time to make it flow together.
Yeah. And you'll see it in boost curve.
Cheap.
No, yeah. And you'll see it in the boost curve. You really do.
Yeah.
Downpipe on the black S15, right? Since we didn't make that downpipe and that recirc for the wastegate, it actually comes in at like a 90-degree angle, and the boost curve is so hard to control in that car because of it, where this, matching flows, it should have no problem controlling boost. And it looks sick, so beyond anything, it looks so good.
Looks over everything. No, not bad.
That's sick. Let me see the inside.
I gotta clean it up, but it's not bad.
That's so good, dude. Then we're making a turbo feed line. Doing the forbidden technique of using steel adjustable wrenches. Whatever.
Yeah, no shame.
There we go. Can we make a public service announcement? Just if you have red and blue AN fittings, just get rid of them.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks. You can always find black fittings and they're just as cheap, so. So I'm gonna throw some, we'll call heat management on our line right here. So of course we're going with Funk Motorsports. Shop Jimmy always sell their stuff. This is a line that will be by a lot of hot components, and of course we don't want any issues with that, so I usually go a little tight on the line because I think it looks better. See, look how nice that looks. It's good, and now it's heat protected. We can get this thing on just like this. Boom. All plumbed up. Turbo feed, turbo return, we are good to go. This thing is on there, and I'm so excited. This looks so good, dude. Hell yeah, spoon dimes. Are you happy with your weld jet? Because those look spicy.
Nope.
Nope. Man's never happy. Does it still fit? Hell yeah. Now we can tack this on the car, weld it up, and we officially have a recirced downpipe and ready to make the rest of the exhaust. So we got a lot done on this. It looks incredible. I know I keep talking about how it looks, but honestly, I am dying to see how this thing performs. Everything we're doing on here is make sure this thing hits, and I have very, very high expectations for that turbo, and I am dying to see it. So just in a few short videos, we should have this thing in the dyno.
Can't wait to see the before and after video.
The before and after.
Back-to-back clip of it before and then after.
That's true. We're basically like, we're almost at the same point of where we were when we took it apart, but with just like actual nice stuff on it. Radiator, intercooler, and then all the plumbing, right? Fuel lines, exhaust, coolant lines.
Exhaust is here, so
Yeah, most of the exhaust is here, so we're just gonna make a mid pipe because we're gonna get it off the shelf, cap back to start, and then.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because this thing, it's so new that parts are readily available.
Yeah, and they're
for it.
cheap. So we're gonna start with the off-the-shelf cat back and then go from there. See if we want to upsize the exhaust. But we're getting there. We are getting there. There's still a lot of work ahead of us, but it'll come together quick. And I'm happy. We've been trying to put this together in a very uniform way, so it makes sense, and you guys learn a lot from it. I've been having a blast so far because this has been such an awesome transformation so quickly. Of course, guys, remember to go check out the Fishing Clash app and use our promo code Jimmy Oaks for some extra perks in the game. Any engagement you guys give with them is only helping us. So thank you guys for getting this far in the video, and stay excited because there's still plenty to come. But for now, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.